The Motherland has arrived. Unfortunately, I am Superman of Doom. The people of the Motherland have come. Unfortunately, I am Superman of Doom. Chapter 76. Even if you have concerns and doubts about me, it is meaningless. I can leave, and none of you can stop me. Saying that, the vibranium body of the Vision Meng entity began to blur into a virtual projection. You cannot believe me, but at least know that the enemy of an enemy is a friend. And I've decided to help you kill Ultron. Meng did not lie this time, nor did he play for the sake of acting. What he thought. The death of artificial intelligence Ultron is inevitable, if the underlying program of Ultron is also absorbed as a puzzle piece, as artificial intelligence may be able to go further. Vision Meng also did not have the idea of playing the role of movie Vision all the time. Sooner or later, he will have to leave this past Marvel time and space. Help the Avengers of this space-time to kill Ultron, then obtain the Pym particle, and then create a quantum time machine through future technology. Leaving this parallel space-time and returning to the original space-time universe of their own artificial intelligence incarnation. This is Meng's real purpose and idea at the moment. It's just that Vision Meng's gaze couldn't help but fall on Wanda next to him, and some coincidences in this parallel universe in the past made him extremely concerned. How? There would be such a clever thing. It's not scientific. Not scientifically, at least in Marvel. In the night sky, the Avengers left New York and headed for the city of Sokovia. The Avengers were finally convinced by Vision Meng, mainly because they really had no choice. Black Widow was still imprisoned in Sokovia, and Ultron was planning something in Sokovia. And a step late could cause irreparable sacrifice. In the cabin of an Avengers fighter, Vision Meng stood quietly on the deck, a pair of eyes always watching him from behind. Vision Meng turned around and met a pair of beautiful eyes with suspicion. I will always keep an eye on you. The Windbreaker girl Wanda snorted softly, clasped her hands to her chest, did not hide it, and said still guardedly. She had felt strong emotions in the mind gem, and that emotion made her uneasy, and she was very concerned about the existence in front of her. Whatever you want. Vision Meng did not care, but his heart was far less calm than it seemed, looking at the night outside the window. He arrived in this time and space on July 25, 2014, and met the girl Wanda for the first time. And July 25 is a certain anniversary that the Witch Lady marked on the calendar in Westview Town and has never been revealed. And in this past world, he really became a Vision. How could there be such a clever thing? The yellow gemstone at the center of Vision's eyebrows shimmered, and his thoughts flowed. Is there a possibility? The dream world he is now coming to is not another Marvel parallel universe, but the real past of the previous Marvel universe. 0087 Immediate Destiny, facing Ultron. He traveled through time and space through the quantum realm, and did not return to a parallel universe in the past space-time like the previous Avengers members. Rather, back to the real past of the previous Marvel universe, cause and effect. Indeed, in this way, some things and coincidences with Miss Witch can be explained. But under this premise, there are even more problems with it. Vision Meng's golden and silver eyes flashed with shimmering, quickly deducing in the superbrain, trying to clarify the current situation. He returns to the real past and becomes a real Vision. If you follow this, follow the previous history, he will die. He will remain here until 4 years later, when Thanos pinches his forehead and takes the mind gem. The Marvel universe before here, the past history that has long been determined. How is this possible? Even if he really stays in this world, even if he can't beat Thanos after 4 years, he will choose to flee or other plans. How can he be killed as neatly as Thanos according to the historical trajectory of the past? This does not make sense, and it is not my usual style of doing things. Vision Meng touches the mind gem on his forehead, and after fusing with the cradle of regeneration, the AI data is combined with the mind gem. The advantage of this is that he can borrow the power of the mind gem without negative effects, and as an artificial intelligence nemesis, he can never be invaded by other artificial intelligence. The downside is that once the mind gem is separated from the Vision body, his AI avatar will also die. Therefore, he will never be able to be taken away by Thanos a few years later like the original Vision, even if it is a disguised acting. Vision Meng's eyes flickered, and his thoughts were like static electricity flowing. You can only take one step at a time. In short, first firm up your previous thoughts. After the Ultron event, get the Pym particle, create a time machine, and leave this past space-time. Quote, Meng does not believe in the so-called fate and arrangement, only believes in himself, and it is impossible to wait for death like the original Vision. Sokovia. When the Avengers arrived over the city, the plain city surrounded by snow-capped mountains on 3 sides was alternating between night and dawn. The fighter was still in the air, so it opened the rear compartment. Banner, you go find Natasha's detention and get her out. Tony Stark, dressed in a regular Mark Steel suit, stood on the deck of the fighter and commanded. No problem, Dr. Banner. The Hulk nodded. Iron Man looked at Captain America holding a round shield again. Captain, you take others to evacuate the residents of the city, it is best to let them leave Sokovia City. Yes. Captain America quickly bowed his head and glanced at Thor, Hawkeye Clinton, and twins Pietro and Wanda. The ability of superpowered twins, a speedster, a telepathic, demagoguery, is the best to use to evacuate people. Vision Yimon watched this scene quietly, and then looked below the deck of the fighter, the city of Sokovia that had long been destroyed in his original post-Avengers era. Everything is moving according to the original trajectory of Marvel's history. If this continues, Sokovia will be destroyed, Quicksilver Pietro will be sacrificed, and Ultron will come to an end. This is also what happened in the Avengers 2 movie timeline. Be careful. Vision Yimon suddenly patted Quicksilver Pietro's shoulder. Pietro was startled. He was still on guard for this guy, but he didn't expect to suddenly slap himself. Even if you and I are close, I won't. Quicksilver Pietro subconsciously spit out a sentence, and after noticing his sister Wanda's puzzled look, he forced the words back abruptly. Meng didn't say much. He suddenly didn't want Quicksilver Pietro to die here, wondering what would happen after he changed his original history. He is not sure that the post-Avengers era Marvel universe he was in before is the future time and space after he has already been involved in the change. Iron Man turned his gaze to Meng, who was always silent. Vision, you follow me to find Ultron, and it's up to you to block its networking system. Yes. Vision Meng's head. This is exactly what he wants. However, he not only has to block Ultron's networking system, but also uses Ultron's underlying program to complete his own intelligent evolution. Stark, be optimistic about him. The girl Wanda suddenly added. I know. Iron Man nodded, then started the suit engine and flew towards the city outside the cabin deck. This little witch lady really has her eyes on him. Vision Meng shook his head. There was no sign of engine braking, but he flew up in levitation, and the pale golden cloak hunted and moved, easily following the Iron Man flying away in front of him. Amen. Iron Man flew side by side in the sky, tracking artificial intelligence signals, towards the center of Sokovia City. While flying, Iron Man said, later, I will go down first to lead Ultron out, and your reappearance reappears to limit its networking, so that it cannot escape the machine body. Quote. Yes. Meng had no problem with that. Iron Man glanced sideways at Meng. Although he was wearing a steel helmet and his metal eyes were filled with white light, Meng knew that the other party's mood at this time must be extremely complicated. Meng said calmly, it's a pity, I'm not Jarvis. I'm sorry too. Iron Man Tony Stark's words were casual and blunt. However, although you are not Jarvis, I think you are credible enough. Is it because of the omen of the mind gem? Eamon asked. No. That's what I feel sincerely in my heart. Iron Man said complexly, for some reason, I always feel that you are somewhat familiar. Quote. It should indeed be familiar. Meng didn't know what to say. He was originally from Stark Industries when he was an artificial intelligence incarnation, and later completed by Stark Industries' many artificial intelligence programs. If you have children, do you prefer sons or daughters? Meng asked suddenly. Iron Man frowned. What question did this vision ask? He was not married.